Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Where in the world have I been? Well, I'll tell you. As it turns out, life doesn't really differentiate between a group game and a solo game, and will get in the way anyway. I mentioned getting a new job a little while ago. It's fantastic, but until I get a little faster, takes a lot of time. But I'm glad to be able to finally come back. This has been bothering me that I've been just kind of leaving you guys hanging for a little while. And to come back, I thought I'd get back to something that I had enjoyed and that I really wanted to see more of. And I really wanted to continue Morgansfort. I was having fun with some of the other stuff we were doing. I wanted to do a skirmish video next, but that takes a lot of setup. And I thought, let's just do something easy that that I can kind of follow a story instead of just rolling dice and moving tons of figures. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue the adventures of Brynjolf and Osric, and we're going to get back into Morgansfort. So let's see if we can figure out where I left off, and we'll get going. That's right. In search of treasure and fame, well, more treasure, less fame. Our two guys here have gone to the old island fortress after messing about in the wilderness with some sturges a little while ago, which we found out were really dumb because you have the chance to slap yourself in the face, and that can really hurt. So um, I gotta get used to following a module like this. um, so the map of the fortress is right here. I assume this is our entrance here, but I figured this would be numbered one, so it's kind of confusing me a little bit. So I'm just going to do a little bit of reading here at the beginning. It says there are several pits on the first level, all of which open to room 17 on the second level. So there's a chance we can just fall through. So let me take another second. I need to figure out exactly where the entrance is because for some reason I'm having a very difficult time figuring out where that is on the map. All right, with Brynjolf leading the way, the two descend the stairs on the old island fortress and find themselves in the entrance room, which was literally right in front of me as I was reading the stuff. So, the entrance room. It says this room appears to be empty, and the floor shows signs of substantial traffic between the stairs and the western hallway. Hmm. So it says something's going to happen if we're noisy. So I don't know if they're being noisy or not. I'm going to go ahead and roll on my oracles. Now I've actually been asked about the 3x5 Dungeon Master before, so just really quick, I'm going to show what's on it. This is something I used pretty heavily early in the days of the channel, particularly with Labyrinth Lord. So this is sort of an amalgamation of different solo role playing tools that I've found, and it's just stuff that I liked. So the first thing that's on here is a yes, no, yes, but, no, but, yes, and, no, and oracle. So very simply, you roll a d6, and anything from a 4 up is a yes. 4 is a yes, but. So that's yes, what you want to happen happens, but something wrong happens to kind of hinder you. Number 5 is just a yes. 6 is a yes and. So it's sort of like, I guess you can call it like a critical. So yes, and something else good happens. And it's mirrored with no. No, but something good happens. No, and something worse happens along with it. Then I've got some twists. Let's say we need some inspiration for something. I can roll my blue die and my red die. My blue die says, let's say I roll like a 3. An organization and then I roll a 5, alters the goal. So some organization out there has altered the story in such a way where we have changed our goal. And then I added these on here. I added senses and I added emotions. I added senses because I wanted some interesting way to interact with the world. I could go like, what's it? If I can find a d6 really quickly, like what do I notice particularly about this room? I rolled a 5, so I'd be touching the walls. So maybe I can notice that there's lots of condensation on the walls. So there's like a lot of cold moisture or something like that. Or maybe I've approached an NPC and they're in the middle of having they're sad. I rolled a 2, so I encounter a forlorn NPC. So then I added a likelihood thing. So if something is more or less likely, you'd roll 2d6 if it's likely, and then take the better one, or you'd roll 2d6 and take the lower roll if it's unlikely. Then I added a chaos rank, which is from that is from the Mythic GM emulator. So whenever something goes our way, the chaos rank increases. It starts at a 5. It increases to 6, 7, 8, and then if stuff goes our way, it decreases. So every time we would change a scene, we would roll a d10, and if we roll under our chaos rank, then something's going to happen. If we roll over it, then nothing's going to happen. So the more stuff doesn't go our way, the higher the chaos rank goes, and so the more likely that something crazy is going to happen. And then I put some stuff on the back here just for creating scenarios. So like NPC, organization, item, location, monster or magic, and then there's rolling the red d6 would tell what on those topics that I was talking about. And I've had some other 3x5 cards that I've added. Sorry, that took a little longer than I thought it was gonna. So anyway, we're gonna roll on here and we're gonna see if we're being noisy. 6. Yes and. I should have asked that a different way. Are we being noisy? Yes and. Not only are we not walking very quietly, we're laughing and joking as we're coming down into the dungeon. Hey, you remember that time when I punched you in the face when you had a scourge on you? And they're just kind of laughing. That being the case, it says that if the party is noisy, the wolves in room 2 will growl loudly. If they're there. See below. I don't know. I'm guessing they're there. They won't attack or enter the room. If the party attempts to go down the western hallway. Western hallway. Whoa. Which way is the western hallway? From room 2? I see. Yeah, all right. That's weird. There's not like a compass on here, so I'm not sure which way is west. Because the western hallway, if we're going by like a compass, we came from the west. So, in any case, that actually is. Does it draw our attention? 3. No, but we do hear it, so we're not gonna go that way, but we do hear it. So we've entered room 1, and there's nothing really in here. So we need to select a place to go, and I'm gonna let our characters pick that. So I'm gonna roll a d3. So we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3, and they will go that way. So that's a 5. So that's a 3. We actually are gonna go down. I suppose that's the western hallway. So we're headed. I see. So this is gonna come down 1, 2 like this. And then branch off like so. But it does seem to continue. And I'm seeing a very suspicious X in the middle of the hallway. I'm guessing that's a trap, but our guys don't. We're going to have to roll to see if they see that. Now, they're not thieves. They don't have a detect traps thing, so I'm not going to use that mechanic. Instead, I'm going to use our oracles. Brynjolf, once again, takes the lead. He's coming up the hallway. I should mention that one of these guys is carrying a torch, which should last about an hour. An hour is going to be like 6 rounds of us doing this in first edition, I think. I don't know what it is here. So, does Brynjolf notice whatever trap this is. No, and that's like a crit failure on that. So he's just walking right up the hallway. I wonder what that growling was all about. Now, earlier it talked about pit traps, all of which open into room 17 on the second level. We triggered when 200 or more pounds is placed upon it, definitely. And each automatically resets. Anyone triggering these traps must roll a save versus death ray or take 2d6 damage from the fall. Man, how much health does he have? Brynjolf he's got 20 hit points. Okay, so that won't kill him. But he's going to make a save versus death ray or fall down a hole. So, yeah, let's see how that goes. Man, we immediately come into the fortress and just fall into a trap. Fantastic. That's the trap. Now, see why the wolves didn't run out of the room, because otherwise the wolves would trigger the trap. That's just silly. Okay, here we go. Death Ray. 11. So he's going to roll over an 11, I think. 12. Okay, so he was going to trigger the trap. He goes, instead of the trap, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to kind of, as it kind of falls open, and he manages to not fall in, and he's going to point at the floor to Osric, and he's going to be like, oh, there's a trap on the floor. We almost fell in. And Osric's like, yeah, good going. Maybe we should pay attention. What a fun place for an encounter, by the way. We've come pretty close to room 2, and I've just read what's in there, and there's 6 wolves in there. So yeah, let's party. Let's have this cool fight around this pit trap, and let's see who goes down there. All right. Well, we got to determine who goes first here between our party and the wolves. I like party initiative instead of individual initiative, so that's what we're gonna do. As to why I'm not playing this in Labyrinth Lord, I don't know, but let's do it. So the autumn dice are gonna be that's us, and the regular dice that's them. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, so we are going first with a 2. They're going second with a 1. Okay, so Brynjolf is going to take his he's going to transform. He's going to change into a huge bear in the hopes that that'll give him some. Let me fill in this hallway behind him so there's not just a blank void. That goes down. There was 1, 2 there, and then 2 more there, and that's going to go into another room, I think. No, that tees off like that and keeps going. Anyway, so he's going to transform into a bear, and then he's going to attack. Did I write down his attacks as a bear? Why would I not do that? Oh man, hang on. I did not write down his attacks as a bear, and it's been a while, and I can't remember what they are. Okay, so what's neat is I reread the stuff I wrote, and he gets an armor class of 16 in bear form, and he has a mauling attack that does 2d6, but he can't use items, he can't speak, and he can basically only do anything that a bear could typically do. I left it up to the DM whether he drops everything he's holding or all of his gear melds with his body. For convenience sake, we're going to say it melds with his body, and he's a big furry bear. So also that's like the only thing he can do as an action besides moving. So he's just going to transform into a bear, and he cannot attack. Osric is going to draw his sword, and he's going to attack this foremost wolf on the side there. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can get a better view of what's going on. All right, Osric is going to attack this wolf here. And he's attacking with a longsword that has d8 plus 1. And he rolls a natural 1. Fortunately, that's not like a crit miss in this game, because such things don't happen. So let's go over to our wolves, and it says the wolves. Why do they have different hit points? Like one's got 9, one's got 11. All right, so this foremost one here says there's 6. So we're gonna roll a d6 to see which one he is. That's 1. He's the one with 9 hit points. So this guy here, obviously, I think he's gonna attack the guy that just swung the sword at him. So we're gonna do that. So he's got 1 bite that does a d6 damage, and here we go. He rolled a 12. These guys have 2 HD, so that's a +2 to hit. That's a 14. And his armor class is 17, not good enough. So he deflects the blow with his armor. I'm not sure how 6 wolves are supposed to fit in this room because I see only 12, or I see only 4 squares. We saw something like this in the Castle by the Sea, where there were like 9 skeletons in a room. I'm beginning to think that this is meant for smaller scale miniatures, maybe like 15 millimeter. I'll have to look into it. Anyway, the second wolf is going to come up here, and we're going to pick a random target for him between 1 and 2, so that's evens odds. He's picking even, so he's going to attack Brynjolf in the form of a bear with his biting attack. And that's a 12 plus 2, 14, not enough to get through the bear's hide, so he chomps into the bear's fluffy fur. These guys can't get out. They're stuck in the bottleneck. So fortunately, we seem to have bottlenecked them. So let's roll for another round of initiative. Oh, that's simultaneous. Now there's no weapon speed here, so I'm gonna say that their attacks are happening at the same time. Erlo is a werebear character I have in another campaign. Brynjolf and this wolf are going to attack each other simultaneously. So there's it's just like furs flying. Erlo again. Brynjolf also rolls. He rolls a natural 1, and fortunately the wolf does not get through his armor. Osric and the wolf are going to attack each other. This time the wolf does get through, causing D6, causing 6 damage. Oh boy. All right. I'm going to go through a couple rounds of... No, you know what? I've got an idea. So since these guys are still bottlenecked, I'm actually going to roll initiative again, and Osric has an idea. Osric sees that there's a pit trap there. Except the wolves are going to go first this time. So, not so good. I'm going to roll to see which one's going to go first here. Doesn't actually matter. But this guy is going to attack Osric again with a 6 and fail to get through. This one's attacking Brynjolf with a 9 and failing to get through. Okay, so Osric is going to try and grab this wolf. I know there's grappling rules somewhere, but he's going to try and grab this wolf and pull it onto the pit trap. Now the wolves know that pit trap is there. It says so. So they're going to actively try and avoid it. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to look up grappling rules if there are any. Okay, so grappling is under wrestling on page 48. It says a wrestling attack requires a successful melee attack roll where success indicates the attacker has grabbed his or her opponent. This hold is maintained until the attacker releases it or until the defender makes a save versus death ray, which is attempted at the defender's next action according to initiative. A successful wrestling attack causes the attacker to move into the same space as the defender if miniature figures are used. After achieving a hold on an opponent, the attacker can automatically inflict unarmed damage as if striking with fist. Prevent a held opponent from speaking, use simple magic items such as rings, or take another action if the GM allows. The attacker may also attempt to acquire an item the opponent is holding, such as a weapon, or attempt to move the opponent as described below. Yeah, so we're going to move it. The attacker can't draw or use a weapon such as a wand, staff, scroll, or potion. escape another's wrestling attack, cast a spell, or pin another character while holding an opponent. So what we want to do is move, and it says the attacker can move up to 1/2 speed, bringing the defender along with a successful attack roll. If the defender is strong enough to carry or drag the defender, or if the attacker is strong enough to carry or drag. Osric has a strength of 14. I imagine that's enough to at least drag the wolf a little bit. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We haven't even grappled this thing yet. So Osric is going to try and grapple the wolf. So he is going you imagine this wolf is like snarling, going at you, and you're just like, I know. I'll grab it. So let's try. I just want to see what happens if we can throw a wolf down down the pit trap. So that's his attack bonus is +2. So that's a 14. What's the wolf's armor class here? Their armor class is 13. Okay, we've grabbed a wolf, so we move in the same space. I might actually have to go to a smaller size of miniatures. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's just, I like my miniatures. Anyway, we're grabbing a wolf. that's not going to work out. I'm just going to leave him where he is. So we're grabbing a wolf, and we're going to try and... I see a flaw here. Anyway, that's his idea. Never mind the flaw. He's going to try and move onto the thing. So now, the flaw that I'm seeing is he's now grappling a wolf, and he's going to move on to the pit trap. Now, you can obviously see the problem here. The pit trap is probably going to activate with both of them on it. So we're going to give both of them a save versus death rate. First him. If he fails, they both go down. If only the wolf fails, the wolf goes down, because that means he was able to get off it in time. But currently he's holding a thrashing, snarling wolf that's very confused. So here we go. Save versus death rate. Nope. He fails. Both he and the wolf go tumbling down the pit trap. All the rest of the wolves and the giant bear look in horror as their friends disappear down the pit trap, and goes and it closes behind them. And you hear vaguely as they're both falling down to area. Where did that say that went? Area 17. Okay. Well, combat continues, I suppose, because the wolves aren't going to stop their attack. But Brynjolf is going to once again attempt his mauling attack on the wolf that's attacking him. So let's maul. That's a 10. So he's not doing a very good job at hitting. Wait, what's his? Yeah, that's +2. That's 10. He's not doing a very good job at hitting because these wolves have an AC of 13. So now the wolves can go. This one's going to move up to take the other one's place. And he is close enough to attack. I'm not going to say that, the pit trap's in the way. So both of these wolves are going to attack Brynjolf. One hits, the other one does not. Dealing 6 damage. Man, these wolves are dynamite. You know what? I think Brynjolf... Well, let's roll initiative, and then we'll see who gets to go first here. The wolves go first, so we're getting 2 more attacks from the wolves. One of which hits, dealing 2 damage. So he's taken 8 damage so far. Brynjolf is actually going to purposefully go down the pit trap to assist his friend. So he's actually just going to... and he falls down the pit trap.